everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jennifer, and today we are playing with the Pat McGrath Huetopian Dream Mothership palette. I will do comparisons to the previous motherships. There's some other palettes that I think there might be some comparisons to. I'm going to use Pat McGrath blush and highlighter. We'll keep it all Pat McGrath, so mascara, eyeliner, etc. So if you're interested in seeing that, just stay tuned. Hey everyone. So today we're going to be playing with Pat McGrath. As I said in my intro, I'm looking at my brushes, just trying to figure out which brush I want to use for highlighters and stuff today. We're going to use Pat McGrath highlighter, blush, mascara, liner, lips, the whole thing. But really we're going to focus on the Mothership palette because I know that's why everyone is here today. So first let's use the highlighter. Now I have two, actually I have three, but I have two newer Pat McGrath highlighters. I have the Divine Rose, which comes in this, the hot pink packaging. There we go. Yeah, it's got my fingerprints all over it. And it looks like this, and actually has more of a peach tone than it has a pink tone. Then there's the Pat McGrath Champagne Gold, which, has the gold packaging, but actually has more of a pink highlight, and that's the one we're going to use today. Let me put that on. And if you guys want swatch comparisons, I can do that at another time. Today, we're going to have lots of swatches with the Mothership palettes. Now, I am using a KZ, which one is this? KZ05 highlighting brush. This is a very soft brush, so you're going to get a very diffused look with this. It's not gonna give you like the super highlighty kind of effect. If you want that, don't use a super soft brush. Use a denser brush. So I'm not doing that today because again, this is not about blush. This is not about really anything but the Mothership palette. All right, so we're gonna use Flirtations. Yes, Flirtations blush. I do love the Pat McGrath blushes. I think they're great, and they have a really good formula. They work really well. They stay where they're supposed to. They're just good. I mean, I don't really have anything bad to say. I was reading recently somebody talking about that, they would trust influencers, and trust me, I'm not an influencer. I'm using the term broadly because that's what was in this article. More if when they got product, if they would be more negative. And I thought about that for a minute, and I thought to myself, well, I get the point. Like, there's a concern that if you get something from PR or somebody sends you something, you're not gonna give an honest review. But here's the thing. There are sometimes that, and I don't get PR, I'm not on PR list, but if I get something and I really like it and I don't have anything negative to say, I'm not going to pretend, I'm not going to make up something negative to make it sound more, quote, honest. I'm going to be honest. So if I love something and it's great and I love all of it, then I'm just going to say that. But don't worry. If I hate something, you'll know, because I'll tell you. Whether somebody sends it to me or not, there's been a bunch of things that I've talked about this year that I just really don't like, and I'll have those in I did a half year, but I'll do a end of the year, these things are terrible list. And you know what, most of the things aren't terrible. I've been very careful about what I pick up, so, the brands that I pick up are generally good, and I like the brands already, but there are many products that I don't feel like live up to their name, so I will be very honest about that. Okay, so black packaging, the Mothership packaging. We have Skin Show Nude, Ecstasy. I'm going to open it up in a second. Secret Eden, Bronze Desire, Bronze Solaris, Astral Venusian, Extreme Plum Noir, Cosmic Bloom, Shockwave, Blitz Sex Dream, and Astral Amethyst Moon. So those are the names. The reason I read those out, and I haven't watched anybody else's reviews yet. Well, it's not true. I did watch Kinky Sweats, because she had one that before, I think it was the day maybe that they came out. Maybe it was the day they were released. But that's it. And I just want to look. I don't think there were any like the exact same shades. I don't remember there being any exact same in the last two motherships, but I'm just going through really quickly. Let me just check really quickly and then we'll get into it. I mean, there shouldn't be, because these are motherships and they should be special and unique and all that good stuff, because they're $125 and, you know, they're $125. All right, so let me show you the packaging again. As always, you know, Pat McGrath does an amazing job with the artistry of her packaging. It's beautiful. It's really interesting. She's like, there's a woman on it with, you know, pink visors and roses on her head and a crown and a mic. I mean, it's a very cool picture. It's very similar to the shades that were in the past two, Divine Rose and Divine Rose 2. And I don't... There has been just some discussion around the fact that this is Huetopian Dream, not Divine Rose 3, and, you know, that people were hoping for a different color story. So we'll go through this, we'll swatch it, we'll swatch the other ones, and then we'll do an eye look. I also have the artistry wand today. I picked up a set. I picked up the set that had the artistry wand, the mascara, and the liner. And the reason I did that was because the liner is Black Coffee. It's one of my favorite liners. Absolutely love Black Coffee. I think it's a great shade. And I'm pretty sure, I'm not totally positive about this, so I want to be careful, because the minute I say it, people are going to be like, that's not true. So correct me if I'm wrong, because that's fine. I'm wrong all the time. I'm pretty sure Black Wood in Chanel is discontinued. The liners that I love so much by Chanel, I'm pretty sure that shade is gone. And Black Coffee, I think, is the closest, probably the closest I've ever seen. So I picked up that liner and I picked up the mascara because I actually don't have that mascara from her. I don't have the, it's the Extreme Black Fetish Eyes mascara. I never bought it. I don't know why. So I just figured, well, you know, I'm getting the liner, I might as well get this kit. So anyway, that was a very long story, but all right. So we've got our handy dandy little chart here. All right, so first let's do Skin Show Nude Ecstasy. The one thing I will say about Pat McGrath, whether you like the color story or not, the formulas, I'm just gonna, what am I trying to grab? Like, let me just grab something, then I forgot what I was grabbing. The formulas are always smooth, always amazing. I mean, I usually do 2 swatches so you guys can see the color better on my arm. You don't even really, I'll do it for this too, so you know we have consistency, but you don't really need to. They're very, very smooth and pigmented. Secret Eden. Bronze Desire. Yeah, I mean, the way that, I mean, like, there's no point in me double swatching that. I mean, look at that shade. It just, stunning. Bronze Solaris 005, and this is one of her, like, shimmery special shades. And we are going to use the pen thing today. The whatever the heck it is. We'll find out what the heck it is. But I think for these types of shades, that's going to make sense. And I'm going to use that pen with other products. I I did a Yves Saint Laurent. I haven't put it up yet, but it's filmed. There's a shade in there that I think might work with this pen. We'll see. There might be different things, different colors, different shades that might work really well with this pen, if this pen works. The Astral Venusian Orchid. And, you know, I'm probably pronouncing these things wrong. Ooh. Well, that's beautiful. That's a fascinating shade. Okay. Okay, that's the top row. All right, let's do Extreme Plum. Extreme Plum Noir. And any inconsistencies in the swatching, I don't think it's the fault of the palette. I think it's the fault of I have stuff on my arm, like moisturizer. All right, we have Cosmic Bloom. We have Shockwave. It's a very, very bright pink. We have Blitz Extreme. Jeez. Wow. Okay, that's that's extreme. Look at that. My goodness. Okay, and then we have Astral Amethyst Moon, which is the shade that my friend Lexi really wants to see. Again, one of those shades that I think is going to really be enhanced by this pen thing, wand thing, whatever the heck it is thing. So those are all the shades. And I have glitter everywhere because some of the shades, like this Astral Amethyst and this shade, which is the Astral Venusian, are very glittery, they have particles in them. So I think, you know, you're gonna find that you're gonna have fallout from those. All right, so let's look at the Divine Rose and Divine Rose 2. So let's pull out Divine Rose first, since this is the older one. And if I look at these two, the new one, Huetopian Dream, and Divine Rose, I don't necessarily see, I'm trying to get it, there we go. I don't necessarily see that these are the same. Similar color stories, yes, but there's a definite difference between these two. This one, Divine Rose, is I'm trying to think of the best way to put this. This is Pat McGrath for people who are a little afraid of Pat McGrath special shades and intensities. I love this palette. I love Divine Rose. I am very much that woman. Like, I like a neutral palette, and I think this looks really good and it's easy to use. But I wouldn't say that it's this. Okay? I don't think that's the one that has as much similarity. Now, Divine Rose 2, you could argue, is more similar. I still don't think, well, we're about to see, but, all right, so let's see if I can match up shades at all. This is gonna be tricky. Let's start with the Skin Show Rose Opal, and we'll put it next to the Skin Show Nude Ecstasy. Okay, so here's the shade. We'll put it like underneath here. Okay, so this one is pinkier. This one has more of a peach. I would say it's, yeah, more peachy. This one's more pink. All right, the next one is Naked Blush. Naked Blush is definitely more terracotta than the Secret Eden. Like way more. All right, Bronze Desire. The next one is in this palette, Eleganza. Right now I'm just going by like where they are in the palette, but we'll see if we can match them up. Okay, that has a very purple, very, very purple tone to it. Eleganza is one of my favorite shades. I think it's really pretty. Next is Bronze Rosé 005, and we'll put it next to Bronze Solaris 005. Okay, there is a similarity in those shades, but this one is more of like a creamy, satiny kind of shade, whereas the new one, the Bronze Solaris 005, looks more of like a topper that might have kind of sort of some sort of special, you know, we'll have to see it with the wand. Okay, then let's do Gold Lust 001. I don't think there's anything in here that's gold, so it's not gonna match up anywhere, but we'll put it here next to the Astral Venusian Orchid. Yeah, it's just a very gold, I mean, it's gold. Gold Lust 001. So that's the top 5 for the new Huetopian Dream and Divine Rose 2. Okay, let's do the bottom. We've got Extreme Plum Noir in the new one, and we've got Extreme Burgundy in Divine Rose 2. I think there's some undertone similarities between Extreme Burgundy and the Extreme Plum Noir, but this is a much deeper shade. I'll swatch this again just to make sure. Yeah, it's a deeper shade, and it has, the new one has more plum. This has more burgundy. I mean, the names reflect it pretty well. All right, the next is Divine Dusk in the Divine Rose 2. And we're gonna put that next to Cosmic Bloom. I assume this is gonna be very different, but we're about to find out. Yeah. I mean, I guess there's some color similarity, but Divine Dusk has like this, it's a really pretty shade, but it's almost like a mocha, it has like a mocha slash pink slash, what is that? I don't know, it's really pretty, but the new one is Cosmic Bloom is much pinker and like brighter. And I'll hold my arm up like this when we get there. All right, so the next one is Rose Seduction. I'm going to put that next to the Shockwave. Okay, so that's Rose Seduction and Shockwave right here. Shockwave is like, has more orange to it. It's almost fuchsia. It's almost, yeah, it's fuchsia, but this is even more fuchsia. Like this one has more like peach almost to it. It's almost neon-y, and this one is like a bright, bright fuchsia pink. All right, next we have VR Sextraterrestrial that, you know, everybody went crazy about in Divine Rose 2. We'll put that next to Blitz Sextreme, which is this beautiful bronzy shade here. These are going to be different in the sense that this color, VR Sextraterrestrial, it can go greenish. I don't know if I can get it to do it while it's on my arm, but it just changes shade depending on the light. Now this new shade, the Blitz Sextreme, it seems to have a little bit of that color shifting as well, but the VR Sextraterrestrial is more purple. This is more bronze at the top. All right, and the last one, Astral Amethyst Moon. We're going to use it with Divine Rose 2, Astral Pink Moon. So at least there's some similarities in the name. I have color under my nails. I have color everywhere. Okay, those are very different. This is a very lavender. This is a very gold. It has some pink undertones, but to me it looks gold. Okay, so those are the two palettes. And it's interesting, if I hold it like this, you can definitely see similarities in the colors, but it's a different palette, guys. I mean, and I'm not trying to make, trust me, I'm not trying to make excuses for buying it. I bought it because I wanted to buy it, but it definitely looks different to me. This Divine Rose 2 looks more pink and purple. This one, this new one, it's like, I don't know, it's got more peach, gold. It's more, it's more all over the place. Like it has a range. Like this is a very lavender shade. This is a very bronzy shade. This is like a peach, bright peachy pink shade. Then this over here looks very bronze to me. This looks like rose. This is peachy. Like this looks more, I don't know, purple pink. There's a little bit, but there's this bright gold too, I guess, in here. I don't know. It doesn't, they don't look the same to me. These two shades probably the closest, and these two shades. I mean, this gold, there's no gold in this at all. These two shades are similar. The Bronze Solaris 005 and the Bronze Rosé 005, but the finish is completely different. I don't know. We're going to have to see this on the eye. Okay, I am going to get washed up because I have glitter everywhere. We'll come back and we'll do an eye look. Now, I'm also going to have to go through Divine Rose 1, Rose Decadence, and Celestial Divinity and see if maybe there's like other shades in here that are very similar. The bronze shades, I mean, I think there's going to be some similarities there. The plums, maybe the Secret Eden in here. I don't know. I'm going to have to play around with it and look at it next to the other shades to really get a good idea. And I will do that. And I'll have stuff on Instagram as well. But for today, let's go ahead and put an eye look together and see what we come up with. I think the question isn't, is it going to be good? Or at least I hope that's not the question, because you know, Pat McGrath, there has been some smaller palettes that I admit that I thought the formula in some of the shades maybe wasn't what I was hoping for. It's always good, but you know, expectations are so high for Pat McGrath that anything less than absolutely, you know, miraculous is like failing. So I think that there have been smaller ones that I wasn't absolutely thrilled with, but the motherships, I've never had a palette where I didn't really like the formulas and the final look. So it's not as if I'm not gonna like it. The color story, yeah, sometimes I'm not as fond of the color story, but I think that's a very different question. So I understand though people's issue this time really was they were hoping for something very, very different from the previous motherships, and it's not drastically different. It is a similar color story, which I think is reflected by the outside packaging. You know, you still have that pink. If you look at the other motherships, I'm looking at them now, I've got like, you know, purples and golds and blue, you know, the outside packaging reflected that it was a different color story within. So I get that totally. All right, I'm just pulling out some brushes here. Okay, let's start. This is a BK Beauty 201 brush, and this is like kind of a wide crease brush, if you will. And I'm going to use Secret Eden, which was that sort of like matte rosy shade, but it has a little bit of peach to it. Looking to see about the formulas. Secret Eden, Shockwave, Extreme Plum, and Extreme Plum Noir. So those are mattes. So Secret Eden, the one I'm about to use, is matte. Shockwave, that one that's like the bright fuchsia pink kind of shade, is a matte. And the Extreme Plum Noir, which looked like similar to the other extreme shade, burgundy shade, those are all mattes. And then shimmers, the Skin Show Nude Ecstasy, which was that first like light peachy shimmery shade. That's a shimmer. Metallic is the Bronze Solaris 005 and Cosmic Bloom. And Trichrome is the Blitz Sex Stream, which is the one that I paired up with the VR Sex Terrestrial and the other one. So they're both trichromes. And then the duochrome Sparkle is the Astral Venetian Orchid, Astral Amethyst Moon. Those are the ones that had like the bits that I was talking about that I think we're going to try the wand. And then there's Gleaming Metallic, which is Bronze Desire. And that's the one that I said that went on like super, super smooth. So yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So we'll start with matte. We'll start with the Secret Eden and kind of put that down as a all over / transition. I'm not using a primer of any kind. I don't use primers when I first use a palette. I want to see how it performs without a primer. And I know I've talked to some of you about like, well, if you always use a primer, that's how it will perform. And I understand that, but not everybody uses primers. So I don't want to use a primer because not everybody uses primers. I know that sounds amazing to some people because some people will be like, well, I always use a primer. And I gotcha, but not everybody does. So the first time I use it, no primer. And then, you know, subsequent uses, I'll definitely use a primer to intensify the look. Now today, we will use that wand, but we'll use the wand after we get some shades down because you can use it over the shadow. Okay, so I'm just putting this on. It's this brush, the way that this is, you can see it's not a tailored brush, doesn't come to a point. So it's very broad and it will, you know, have like more of a sweeping area. So it's going to take up a lot of my eye. I am putting it on in stages. I am layering it because I feel like these shades are they can be very pigmented and also a little powdery, and I want to make sure that, you know, I build it and I don't have excessive fallout. I probably should have done my face after, but oh well. My face is already on. We're just gonna have to clean up any mess that we have. So what I would say, one, is this is going cooler on my eye than it did in the swatch. Again, this is Secret Eden. That's not a shock. This always happens. Shades go cooler on my face, my lips, my eyes. My skin turns everything into a cooler shade once it's on my face. So something will swatch a certain shade, and now that I'm the age I am and I've been doing this for a while, I will purposely like swatch something on my hand, and if it's really pink on my hand, I'll be like, no, because I know it's gonna be too pink on my face. Or too pink for me, how's that? Like, I don't really like a super pink look. So the fact that this had a little bit more of not peach, but a little bit more peachy on my arm, I was like, yeah, it's gonna go pretty rosy on my eyelids. You can see right there. And that's the matte Secret Eden. Then we'll go in with the Extreme Plum Noir, and we're gonna go in very, very lightly because that one is very, very pigmented. Making sure my brush is super clean. This is a Hourglass number 6 brush. And this is like that plummy, well, it's Extreme Plum Noir. It's a deep shade. And all I'm gonna do is kind of intensify, and again, I'm going in really light. I'm gonna try to use a lot of shades, and the only way to do that, at least with the look that, something that I would wear, is to kind of build a little. I can't, I could do something like rainbow-ish, but if I do that, then that's not really what I would wear. So it doesn't make sense for me to do a look that I would never go out in, at least not to me. Because I'm like, well, I would never wear that. So, but again, those shades blend well. They blend beautifully. See, again, this is my point about Pat McGrath and the motherships. At least for is this the 9th? I think this is the 9th mothership. None of them are bad. They're all amazing. The formulas in here, there's a reason there's so much excitement, expectation, whatever you want to say, around these motherships. This is the 03 Wayne Goss. I'm just blending, nothing on the brush. The formulas, the shades, they're just amazing. So they're always amazing. I'm always like, wow, it blended perfectly, and wow, that's amazing shade. I mean, like, that's never been the issue. There have been color stories that I've liked more than others. That's all. And I think with this one, there was a hope that there would be something away from the pink purple that we've seen for the last couple of ones. But maybe not. Maybe you guys love pink and purple and you don't feel that way at all. So it's entirely possible. Okay, so we've got the two of the mattes on. We've got Secret Eden and Extreme Plum on the eye, really lightly. I mean, look at how beautifully that blended. It's beautiful. Perfect. Let's take a Wayne Goss 20, and I'm gonna take the Shockwave, which was the other matte, and this is the very bright shade, the bright fuchsia-y shade, and I'm gonna put it kind of here in the inner corner of the eye. Again, lightly using it almost like a base for whatever shades we put over it. Just blending it up into the crease. There we go. It's a very pretty shade. It's a very bright, peachy pink. On me, on my eyelids, it looks more just pink. I mean, we're not gonna leave it like that. That's just gonna be a base, so. Okay. So let's see. Let's use Cosmic. Yeah. Let's use Cosmic Bloom, which is the metallic. Metallic? Yeah, that's the metallic. Using a KZ07. This is like the KZ brushes that I used on my face. It's a very soft brush. Let's see how this works with the metallic. So again, this is Cosmic Bloom. And we're going to use this on the inner corner of the eye. Now, with a shade like this, because it's metallic, if you use a softer brush, you're going to get a softer look. If you want a denser look, use a denser brush. And I think that all makes sense. Or you could use it damp. Use a damp brush. And that will intensify it as well. As will probably this new wand. But we're going to save the wand for the purple. We'll try it with the purple. But I gotta say, I'm putting this on with a very soft brush, and I'm not having any fallout yet. So that's pretty good. Now I'm putting this over the Shockwave that we put down, but the Shockwave, I didn't use a lot of it. I just used a little bit of it. So it's not like I think the color will be drastically different, but I'm trying to use as many shades as possible here. And I'm honest with all of you guys. When I use these mothership palettes, I use 2 or 3 shades, maybe 4. I don't use them all at once. I don't use 10 shades on my eyes. I just don't. Okay, so now we're gonna use the Gleaming Metallic, which is the Bronze Desire. We also have the Bronze Solaris 005, which is the other metallic, but we'll use that on top of this. So let's use the Gleaming Metallic. I'm not really sure what the difference between a Gleaming Metallic and a metallic is, but I guess we'll find out. Using the same brush, and I'll meld it in a minute. Yeah, it's very pretty. Definitely goes bronze on my eye. And if you put it next to the Cosmic Bloom, it looks brown. I mean, it's interesting. And I'll let you see it before I blend it. We've got the Cosmic Bloom on the inside half of the eye, and then we've got the Bronze Desire on the outer half of the eye. All right, well, let's take a 03 and just blend those together a little bit in the middle. Okay, so we now have, let's see, we've got the three mattes. We've got the Bronze Desire, which is the Gleaming Metallic on the outer corner. We've got Cosmic Bloom on the inner corner. And I'm gonna take the other metallic, which is the Bronze Solaris 005, and we're gonna just dust a little bit of that on the eye. So let's take our KZ brush and kind of put that to sort of meld these together. It has more of like a gold. It goes more gold on the eye. Wow, okay. So the shades that I haven't used the trichrome, which is the Blitz X Extreme. I feel like I kind of want to do like a look with that by itself, because I think no matter what I do now, it's not going to really show up correctly, because it's going to be, you know, it needs to have its own space. But I will take the Skin Show Nude Ecstasy, and we'll put that up in the brow area. That's the shimmer shade. And I'm doing it very lightly. Like super lightly. Because it's very pigmented, like everything else in this palette. And we'll use it as inner corner. You know what we can do though is we can use the trichrome as a liner underneath. let's do that. All right, so let me clean up the eye a little bit, and then we'll use the trichrome on the bottom, and then we'll go back in with the wand and try the purple shade. I have to say, guys, I've had very little fallout, like practically none. So, I mean, I've been tapping off my brush and everything, but it's actually pretty impressive. All right, let me use the trichrome lower lash line. Trichrome. This is the Blitz Sextreme. Yeah, it's a beautiful shade. That's gonna be like great all on its own. I'm just gonna put a little in this outer corner here. Really nice. Really, really pretty. Okay, so that is all of the shades except for the duochrome sparkles. So there's 8 shades on the eye. So let's try this wand. So this is what the wand looks like. It says it has 6 months, and it's a twist, or is it a pump? Oh, okay, you pump it, I guess. There we go, okay. And then you can see okay, so it comes like a triangle. Feels kind of gel-like. I don't know how much you need. All right, so let's try putting it over the eyeshadow, because what I'm gonna find interesting is it gonna just wipe off the shadow that's there? Here we go, I might destroy the entire look in like 5 seconds. We'll put it on the inner corner here. No? Okay. Yeah, I mean, some of it came off on the wand, but not a lot. Okay. I don't know how much I'm supposed to be like putting down. That's the only thing. Like because I haven't watched anything yet. I don't know if I'm doing this right, but we'll find out. Okay, and then I'm gonna wipe it on a microfiber towel. Yeah, that seems to wipe it off well. Okay, so let's do the Astral Venusian Orchid first. That's the lighter one, that's not the purple one. That's, any sounds you hear in the background, by the way, that's my dog Remi. He's just deciding that he wants to like choke. He's not actually choking, he's absolutely fine. He does this when he doesn't feel like he's, you know, getting the attention he deserves. I don't know, not absolutely sure. I've checked on him 15 times during this video. He's fine, he's just Remi. Okay, ooh, okay, well, yeah. Holy, okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, okay, that works. Wow. Now, I don't know how well this is gonna work. I don't know if this is because it's a Pat McGrath product that this is working with, or if this is gonna work like this for any product that the wand comes in contact with. But if so, I need to buy more wands, because that's impressive. I mean, okay. Sorry, all right, so for the purple, let's, it's for you, Lexi. Put the purple on. Let's let's see what happens. Now again, it does take off some of the shade that's on your eye, but it doesn't remove the shade that's on your eye. It just takes off, like you can you see how it's like transferred? And then when I wipe it with the cloth, it goes back to its clear, gel-like, whatever. All right, so let's do the purple. And again, this is, I didn't tell you the brush. This is a flat definer by Sonia Jade. Okay, so now we're going into the Astral Amethyst. Here we go. Now I'm, placing it down. I'm not really doing much more than that. I'm really just placing it. Wow. Okay. Oh, I gotta give it this. That's pretty freaking impressive. If this wand works like this with other product, I mean, I don't think you'll get the same payoff because I don't know how many other products are gonna have this level of shine, shimmer, whatever you want to call it. I think there'll be some that do. I can think of some indie brands off the top of my head that might have this. I'm not sure, a mainstream brand is necessarily gonna have this kind of payoff, even if you use the wand. But I look like a Mardi Gras float. I'm just blending the middle here to kind of get a better transition. But, wow. Okay. Well, so first of all, yeah, that wand, that definitely works. These shades, these shimmer, what were these called again? Duochrome sparkles. They definitely sparkle. When I put them on my arm, you saw how they kind of like flaked all over the place. I mean, they were still beautiful, but they flaked all over the place. I do have a little bit of fallout here, but it's practically nothing. I mean, it's, minor. I don't even know if the camera is picking up how sparkly this is. Like that's, I look like I look like a Mardi Gras float, and I'm not complaining. Like this is not a look I would wear every day by any means, but if you're looking for a really sparkly, over the top look, you've found it. And this wand worked extremely well. I think it's basically like a glitter glue and a stick. It reminds me of like kindergarten with the glue stick, That's what this reminds me of. It's a glue stick for your eyes. But it also intensifies. It's, again, I know glue stick does that as well. I mean, glitter glue does that as well. Glue stick. So I'm gonna call it now. Everywhere I'm just gonna call it glue stick. Yeah, I know it intensifies as well because of course, it's laying down a layer for the pigment to stick to, but it really does give you a sparkle that I'm not sure you could achieve. No, I know you can achieve without this because I've had, very sparkly shades before, and you can't get this type of look without something like this. And this was just really easy to use, and I could put it on over the other shades, and yes, it picks up a little bit, but not a lot. Wow. Okay. So that pretty much overtakes the shades that were underneath it, but you got to see what that looked like. The other shades got to look like before I did this. So I'm gonna have a lot of fun playing with this stick. The thing I'd say is it doesn't go back down, so make sure you don't put too much, like don't press it too many times to go up because it's not gonna go back down. That's the first thing I'd say. Second of all, I mean, look at that. The purple. Okay, sorry, all right. So look, I'm gonna continue to play with this and I'm gonna see if I can find some swatches in some other palettes. I'm sure that other channels are doing that as well, trying to figure out if there's ones that are, you know, not exact dupes, but very close or whatever. But my purpose today really was to compare it to Divine Rose 2, which I did, and I do think these are different. Do I think it's a totally different color story? No, I don't. And I think that is evidenced by the fact that the packaging she chose is similar to Divine Rose 2, and I don't think she would have done that if, you know, she didn't want to have some similarities. I mean, that's Divine Rose 2. Huetopian Dream. The imagery, I'm trying to get my hand in the way here as we do this. The imagery is very similar. With the crown and the, I mean, very similar. So, I think they're meant to be similar. But, in my opinion, they're very different. So, alright, so I'm gonna have to play around with it some more. I mean, honestly, that's what it comes down to. And then the Divine Rose 1 and the Rose Decadence and the Celestial Divinity and all of those. I'm gonna have to play around with it. That's just all there is to that. Okay, let me put on some mascara and we'll put on a Pat McGrath lip. I don't think I'm gonna use, I could use black coffee. I guess I'll use a little bit of black coffee on my eyes. I'll use it as a little bit of a liner. I'll use the mascara and we'll be right back. Okay, so we're back with the mascara on. I used a little black coffee to tightline the look a little bit, but I mean, not a lot. I'm gonna use the Supernatural liner from Pat McGrath. Supernatural has a little bit more of a brown to it, but that's fine because I'm gonna use the Naked Rose Opalist gloss, which is a very pinky gloss, so it'll be okay. With a little bit of brown underneath. I just thought it was shimmery and reflective, which I think will work with the eye look. So yeah, I definitely look extremely shiny right now, but I mean, so a couple things about the look. I'm first of all, I'm very glad that I kept my face very neutral and didn't go a lot with the highlighter because the rest of my face is highlighty enough. So this is really, I really like this look. I think it looks beautiful, but it's not an everyday look by any means, at least to me. Now again, you know, I say that lovingly because there are a lot of people where this would be an everyday look, and that's fabulous. I just would not, I wouldn't feel comfortable with this as an everyday look. Going out though, this is phenomenal. Like I think this is great. And if you're looking for something that's like a really like celebratory kind of look, this is definitely gonna do it. The shades in here they all perform like they're supposed to. They're all beautiful. I like them all. I think the Cosmic, what was it again? The Cosmic Bloom I really, really like. The Sex Dream, the Blitz Sex Dream I really, really like. I only have that as lower lash line at the moment, but it's really pretty. I cannot wait to use that. And that's the Trichrome. The Bronze Solaris looked beautiful. Bronze Desire was gorgeous. I mean, there wasn't a shade in here I really didn't like. I think Shockwave is probably the shade that I like the least. It's just not really my shade, but it still performed great and it worked really well. Those shades have basically been overtaken by the two shimmery shades, I know that's not what they're called, but the Astral Venusian Orchid and the Astral Amethyst, which, you know, are basically what this whole look is at this point on the eye, because I used the wand and then put that on top of it, and that just, you know, it became this. And so, you know, you saw the look before I did that. That was 8 of the shades, and I think it was a beautiful look, but it was definitely more subdued. Once you put this on, these shades, and you use the wand with it, it's gonna be... And I think that if you took like these shades over here, which are definitely more of these kind of like a subdued, almost like Divine Rose 1, or Divine Rose, I guess you could say, these 4 shades, if you use like this shade and this shade, these matte shades, and then use the Amethyst Moon on top, you would get a very cool color story and it would be very intense. And if you use the wand, it's going to be even more intense. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Like, and then this one has more of a gold shift to it. This Astral Venusian Orchid, yes, it has some pink in it, but it has like a gold shift. So if you took this and put it on top of something like this, or even the plum, I mean, there's a lot you can do with this. Or if you took this and used it with like some other palette, maybe one of the other motherships or another brand altogether, you put this on top, it's going to be a really pretty shift. It's just a pretty shade, but then if you use that wand with it, you see the pink? There's the gold and then the pink. I think it's just going to be, you know, like amazing. And then the Amethyst Moon, I mean, that's just, I mean, these both are just, that's impressive. I don't know how she does it. I really don't. So suffice it to say, I love the look. I think it's beautiful. I love the palette. This wand is really impressive. I cannot wait to try it with other products and see how it works. Even the other shades of Pat McGrath, the other formulas with Pat McGrath that I've had in other motherships, and shiny shades, shimmery shades that I have in other palettes. Because if it works with any formula, that, I mean, that's a game changer to me anyway. But it definitely worked with these 2 shades, no doubt. And I think if I put that wand on and used the Blitz, what was it? Blitz Sex Dream? Yeah, I think that would be impressive too. I think that would look really, really good. So a lot of different looks to try out with this palette. Hopefully that was helpful. Like I said, I will continue to look at the other palettes to see the other Pat McGrath palettes, and maybe even other palettes to see if there's shades that are similar. Is the color story similar? Yes, you saw on my arm, it's similar, but I do think it's different enough. For me, it's different enough. And I think, you know, these 2 shades alone are pretty impressive. And I like the eye look that was created before we put these on. I mean, I thought it looked really nice, so. It's just a question of, is it different enough to you? Do you have all the mothership palettes? Do you feel like it's different enough than the ones you have? And, you know, for you, there's also it's $125. Now, it's a little, you get a discount if you're buying like the sets. I know the wand and the set was like, I forget how much it was, but it was a really good deal. But I think that one's sold out right now. I don't know if it'll be coming back. So if that's the price point that you feel comfortable with, or you want to wait for a sale, and I totally get that. But I have to say, just based on the product, it's a really good product. And it lives up to what it promises. All right, guys. Okay, I think that's it. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really do appreciate it. And I hope to see you in another video really soon.